that's what it looks like when it's properly functioning. It looks like when we put this hose on attached to the cowl, we might want to pay attention to how that's routed. I went through some complications with a 1985 wiper motor, so I thought I'd share my experiences and some thoughts. So this is the wiper motor that I pulled out of the 1985 S10. This is a new part that I got off of Amazon, and this is a part from 1993 that I just got from a wrecking yard. And I'll tell you why I just got that today after I show you the insides of these. And here's the other difference. You can just use a 1/4 inch or the end of your screwdriver adapter kit to just get these guys off, right? And this one, the new one, actually takes a Phillips. So that's one of the first differences. And then obviously you see, I'm thinking this is manufactured date, 84, nothing, 93. So then let's look at the insides of these. And boom, it's the chip. So that's what it looked like. And what was going on is the motor was making noises, like it was trying to move, but it couldn't. So nothing inside of that one. And we'll come back to that. And then here's the one from 93. So there's some pretty, not huge differences between these boards, but they are different. But the real interesting difference is when you get underneath. Now, that's what the original OEM part looks like, right? It has the hole up here to allow these prongs to fit down into, and it also has the ground contact for this board. And then it just slides right back on where it came from. No big deal, right? Well, it's a big deal if you don't have the holes in the right spot. And if I take this one out again, this one and this one on the inside are the same. This one and this one are not the same. This one does not have the ground contact up here, nor does it have that little window for your board to actually go into. So if you were to get a new unit off of Amazon or some other manufacturer, you need to get a new board that works with that motor instead of thinking you're going to use your OEM board. Now, once I made that discovery, I called up one of my local auto parts supplier, well, not suppliers, but it's called DNS Light Trucks and Autos Salvage Yard or something like that. And so this unit from Amazon was about 55 bucks plus some change. And then now to ship it back, I'm going to be paying $7 in shipping to get the rest of my money back, because it's not going to work. This, with the relay pulse board, was 45 bucks. Now, I haven't tried to see if it works yet, but to do this new guy would have been an additional 55 to 100 bucks, depending on the current sale, for this board. So if you check your local salvage yards, I bet they're going to have a much better deal with a part that's actually designed for the truck or car that you're working on. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. I thought Amazon was going to be the way to save money and time. It ended up just adding frustration. Check your local used stuff first, and then check your local new parts, and then only resort to this if you have to. Have fun. The other part I forgot to mention is this boot that goes between the firewall and the motor. And what this does is it protects the motor from water and debris that come up in your engine bay. So when you open this up, it's usually packed in with grease, waterproof grease, that goes in between your boot and your motor. And that's actually one of the things I'm going to be doing on this to recondition it, is packing it with some waterproof grease. I just cleaned out the old grease. It was still kind of greasy and wet, but it had started to crust. You can see some of the crustiness and in the collar too, so I'm going to try to clean that out as much as possible and then grease that back up because you want to ensure that there is some waterproof protection, and if it's, if that thing is turning in there all the time, you want that to be able to turn nice and freely with the least amount of friction as possible. So make sure, even if you're driving one of these trucks around, your wiper motors are still working, but it's a stock truck, I would highly recommend taking the hour out of your afternoon one lazy weekend and packing some new waterproof grease in here, because I'm pretty sure that was the issue that ultimately killed this motor. We're about to find out once I put it back in, once I put this new used motor back in the truck. A couple other things before you put everything back together. Turn your motor on before you attach your arms and make sure that it's spinning around. It was on mine, so I went ahead and put everything back together. Make sure you also oil or grease all of the connections inside, all of the connections of these rods where they connect, because you'll see as this spins round and round in the same direction, the mechanism moves in a way that creates that wiper motion. And this arm, once you detach it from here, and then obviously your 3 bolts at each transmission, just drops down, you shimmy it that way, and then it comes out through this hole on the driver's side.